Hey, what up, guys? Coming to you this morning. It's What's Next Day. Monday is always What's Next Day. I'm doing a What's Next on a couple guys here. Actually, I'm not going to do every main event if the main event is a weak main event. You know, I don't think I could just jam that into the bigger one. So that's what I'm going to do. Today, my first What's Next is going to be on Ivan Redkach, who won the main event on June 1st. He defeated Devin Alexander, former world champion. He upset him with a 6th round TKO and is now, in the welterweight mix. Redkach, a good amateur, nice win over Alexander, who's a washed up former world champ. What's next for Ivan Redkach? Well, he's fighting for the PBC. He's got a lot of options at welterweight. I'm going to tell you that right now. He said he wasn't sure if he could compete at welterweight. He proved that he can so far, and there's just a lot of options. He could face any of the top guys at welterweight. If there's anybody that's going to be kind of odd man out I think Danny Garcia and Mikey Garcia are probably going to fight because Errol Spence and Sean Porter are going to fight. So that'll lock up all the big names. You got Ugas is facing Figueroa, and then Lipinets is facing John Molina Jr. So where does that leave him? Well, there's guys like Andre Berto, who fought and should have beaten, or who actually got a split decision win over, He's coming back soon, but I think this is a good option for Redkach, maybe. Maybe Berto would fight him later in the year. There's guys like Jamal James. There's good options with the PBC. There's just a lot of good options there. So I think he needs to try to get a pretty solid name in there next, get in the ring, stay busy, but a nice win for him, and that's it on him. So now we're going to go into the main What's Next from June 1st. And this is on newly unified heavyweight champion Andy Ruiz Jr. So you saw what happened, one of the biggest upsets in heavyweight history. Andy Ruiz came in and scored a 7th round TKO over Anthony Joshua. Big time win, and he is now the new unified heavyweight champion. So what's next for Andy Ruiz Jr.? Well, looks like an immediate rematch clause is in the contract, and it's going to take place in November, December. Andy Ruiz is saying he wants $50 million to go over to the United Kingdom and face Joshua. I don't think he's got that clout to demand that much money, but he should get a pretty fat payday for going over there if that is indeed what's going to happen. But that's likely what's next for Andy Ruiz. But since it hasn't been 100% guaranteed, let's take a look at some of the other options. Andy Ruiz is a PBC guy. Deontay Wilder, unless he finishes Luis Ortiz in a couple rounds, that fight's going to, take enough out of him to where he's not going to focus on fighting Andy Ruiz. So that option's out. But some of the other guys, a rematch with Joseph Parker maybe, the only guy to defeat Andy Ruiz, that would be an option. I also think another good option would be Dillian White, who talks a lot of shit. He wants to get in the ring with somebody. He wants his first title shot. That's a good one. Tyson Fury, why not? Why not face Tyson Fury? These are the 3 belts that Fury took from Klitschko that Andy Ruiz has. I think he would be a good option. And then there's, Adam Konaki, top 10 guy. He also fights for the PBC. I think that's a good option. So you got a lot of good options right here if the fight with Joshua doesn't happen. But I absolutely think that's going to happen. I don't think Joshua's going to let Andy Ruiz get away. I don't think that shook his confidence enough to where, he just thinks he can't compete and he's done, for right now. No. Joshua knows that he hurt Ruiz, that he knocked him down, and he got a little careless and left himself wide open. I think he wants to correct that mistake. He wants to get his titles back, and get back to where he was in the heavyweight division. So we're gonna see, but that's the what's next on Andy Ruiz Jr. So make sure to stay tuned. I'm gonna hit you with the weekend recap from June 8th. And then Wednesday, again, I'm going to come at you with the preview for the June 15th cards. And there's a lot going on this weekend coming up. So that's it, guys. True Boxing. Been hit with the truth.